Earlier in the week, The Guardian's political correspondent Aubrey Allegretti sat down with Labour MP for Ealing Central and Acton, Rupa Huq, to talk about her experiences as an MP. They met at the Palace of Westminster the day after she gave a personal tribute to Amess in the Commons.
When Jo Cox was taken from us, we all said that we should live by the diktat of more in common. I feel in life we should be all a bit more like David, and that means being less cross and more cross-party. Thank you.
Aubrey started off by asking Rupa why she wanted to go into politics in the first place.
I just think it's the best job in the world to represent your home community in the Mother of Parliaments. I mean, for me, to see Big Ben every day is an enormous privilege and an honour. And at the same time, you can sort out stuff for your community and you can make it a better community for everyone.
So looking back to your first constituency surgery, do you remember the kind of feelings you had, the kind of cases you were coming up against? What was that kind of like? I have done a constituency surgery pretty much every week since 2015. The most standard type of things are housing. We have a 5-figure waiting list in Ealing for people wanting to be rehoused in the borough. Social security, benefits, those kind of things. As MPs, there's nothing we don't do. And then, obviously, the whole point of these constituency surgeries is quite a unique thing in this country. So what kind of reactions do you get when people come in and you're trying to help them? Are they sort of grateful? Are they tearful? What are they looking to you for when they come in? People will come and see you who'll be, by definition, frustrated, angry, upset at the end of their tether. So why else are they seeing an MP? So, yeah, sometimes you get these people who just want to talk and to sound off. And as you say, it's a very British feature of our democracy because colleagues from overseas are always astounded how accessible we are. But in the light of what's happened, some of these things maybe need a bit of reassessment. Back in 2015, did you have any sort of concerns about your safety either at these surgeries or just because you had got this position now as a Member of Parliament? In 2015, mine were genuinely open-door surgeries. I don't think I had much of social media then, but if anyone phoned up, and we do get a lot of people phoning up, the phone ringing off the hook, they were told where it would be. Since actually the murder of Jo Cox, it changed to booked appointments, so they have to give an address and an indication of what the problem is. And even if I'm taking the calls, I always say, can you email over as much information as possible, Home Office reference numbers, whatever. We can get cracking on it now. It might even be resolved by Friday. When you were elected, obviously, you hadn't been long in the job before Jo Cox, the former MP for Batley and Spend, was murdered. Do you remember how you felt about that when you heard the news? Yeah, no, I was just stunned. I was in Parliament when the initial news broke. I remember saying to Alison McGovern, can that be true? Everyone was in shock. And then I think by the end of it, everyone on our 2015 intake WhatsApp group was saying, please, may it not be true. Please, I hope she pulls through. And then someone said, she's gone. And we were just all shocked and traumatised. Suddenly we're talking in the past tense about someone who was there. And she had actually had a party for the whole 2015 intake. I think just the night before, they were going to make it an annual thing. Oh, it was really fun on her boat where she lived. Yeah, no, it was very affecting. How did you react then to the news that a second MP had been killed that you were quite close to? The Sir David Amess one as well was very difficult to process because I'd been with him less than 48 hours before it happened. So I was on a trip where he was delegation leader over that weekend and days either side of it. That Wednesday night, last thing I saw was him at the baggage reclaim, checking that my bag was reunited with me after everyone else had gone and mine was still on the centrifuge because I'd looked the wrong way or something when it came the first time. You know, just really decent man. You know, he'd even spoken to my teenage son because I did a video call in the week with him and he was next to me. So he joined in. I said, yeah, you talk to him. He's really naughty, my boy. And he, you know, they had a good old chat. And the last thing he said at the baggage reclaim was, you know, look after that boy of yours. You know, don't give him hassle. He's a good lad. So that, I think, just because I'd seen him so recently,
just the way it happened, that was really difficult to process. And I had to go and do my surgery. I think we got the news at about 3:30 or something. And 4:00 is my surgery time. That was the time to get your skates on and go across. But we did text the local police. So that was a post-Joe Cox precaution. When you're doing a surgery, let the police know.
And it must have obviously been very difficult because the parallel between Joe and David was that they were killed at these constituency surgeries. And then you're talking about you were just heading off for yours. So that must have been kind of quite odd, but you decided that it was best to go ahead. And there's obviously been a discussion now about whether surgeries should go ahead in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I did a column for your paper after Joe that was called "I'm Carrying On" because that's what my friend would have wanted me to do. I mean, yeah, it'd be good to have some guidance from the centre, but a general prohibition. And again, David Amess, I don't know what he would have made of all of this. So I think you have to strike a balance. You can continue seeing your public, but you have to take sensible precautions. So maybe there's things you could build into it. Maybe those lists of who's coming could be sent somewhere where they check if someone is on some sort of watch list. Yeah, there's stuff probably that could be inbuilt.
Are there sort of particular things you'd like to see happen? Or if it's up to each MP, are there sort of particular ways you're going to change or make sure you carry on your behaviour to sort of make sure that that access to constituents doesn't change?
I mean, people talk a lot about MPs' security at home. In this building, you know, there's zillions of cameras and lots of armed police everywhere. On my first day, the tour of the building I got that I replicate for constituents was by a copper. And he did say, if anyone lays a finger on you, I can get 10 machine guns pointed at them. If you go over there, which is outside the perimeter of the parliamentary estate, none of it applies. So I think maybe MPs need to be taken a bit more seriously because they are seen as always on the take, snout in the trough. I think they're down there with used car salesmen in the trustworthy stakes of professions. People have gone on a lot about online and offline abuse. Online, there's a constant hum of it every day on my timeline. I just, think that's life, that's an occupational hazard, that's part of the territory. But then if these people were to follow through, I think we do need to be taken seriously. And even we all live amongst our constituents and our address is on the ballot paper. And I just don't know if I'll do that next time.
My thanks to Rupa Huq MP for telling Aubrey Allegretti her story.